Hey everybody, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Frank.
So today we're going to discuss one day at work, Frank and I, back in 2009, we get called into a meeting and we get told that we're going to build the ultimate tribute to the greatest guitar player who ever lived, Jimi Hendrix, and we're going to build Gibson and Epiphone Jimi Hendrix Stratocasters. We didn't know what to do. But that story's coming up next, right now.
Go Behind the Headstock with Kevin and Frank, two ex-Gibson employees talking about guitars and the guitar industry with an inside perspective.
All right, so like I said in the intro, look, Frank and I worked at Gibson for so long, you never knew what could happen on any given day, right? There was plenty of things that happened to us at work, and this day was just so...
The last thing you wanted to hear was like, meeting at 5 o'clock at corporate.
Which happened.
Yeah.
So...
bring everything.
Yeah, so I'd bring all my reports and books over there. We'd bring every prototype we could bring over there just to,
Whatever we're working on, and it's not about anything relevant to that.
Right. So anyway, we get told that we've been working with the Jimi Hendrix estate, and the plan is we're gonna do a co-launch with Epiphone for Jimi Hendrix Stratocaster. And of course, my first reaction was, "Oh, come on, really? This don't feel right." Yeah. Like, really, how do we pull this off? But anyway, it was explained to us, look, here's the concept. If Jimi were still alive today, what would he be playing? And that kind of helped us understand, all right, we're not building a recreation of his exact strats that he played, because that would just kind of be lame. Like, truly, okay, if he was still playing today, would he have all the latest things on his guitar, right? So that kind of set the stage. So now, Frank, you were really heavily involved with this project.
Yeah. After the meeting, I got introduced to a gentleman, Bruce Coleman, who worked for the Hendrix estate. And he and I kind of crafted out our little niche. See, as you know, Kev, being at Gibson USA, we're kind of the middle guys, you know. Epiphone's going to run with their Epi. They're already making millions of Stratocasters. So the change to them is not that big. They swapped the pickup. They moved it around because that was an idea we talked about. Part of Hendrix's tone was flipping the guitar over and restringing it and having the pole pieces in a different location. And that changed the tone of the guitar. For better or worse, whatever, but that's what Jimi did, and it influenced his sound. So, that was kind of a given thing we all wanted to do. But then, it was like Epiphone was going to do their deal with the player pack and amp and all T-shirts. And so, and Custom Shop was like, we want the Flying V and the XG Custom from the Merv Griffin show. Remember, Hendrix did the Merv Griffin show. He had a white,
the white SG.
And so they were like, "Those are off limits." So I'm like, "Well, what are we gonna do? We got it." And they're like, "Well, think Woodstock. Hendrix at Woodstock." So okay, I go back and watch the Woodstock video again and see Hendrix playing to the 17 people that were there at that time when he played.
Yeah, more people claim to have been there than were actually there, right?
When Hendrix played, there was nobody there. It was Monday morning.
They went too late.
Look at the videos, and you'll see people like cleaning up and wandering around. And Hendrix is wailing, and like people are like picking through the trash and like looking around,
looking for food.
That party, So we're think Woodstock. So he played the cream Strat at Woodstock. We even had the vest made, the jacket that he wore with the white fringes and the turquoise, and so we were like, all right, well, we're gonna have to make a Strat. But we talked about it like, okay, well, Valley Arts, which was a Gibson brand, was a Strat company, and they took the Strat to new levels. They did a bunch of different stuff. And Mike McGuire was still with the company working at the Custom Shop. So we were like, okay, Valley Arts. We'll do it under the Valley Arts brand. We'll make it here and it'd be a Valley Arts guitar. So we flipped the headstock and we put a little different design to it. And we did an ash body and a set neck Strat. It was, working out to be something pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so Henry really was pressing on innovation. Hendrix was the innovator. So what's out there new that we got? And Steinberger had just developed the Trans-Trem 3, which was a new incarnation, which moved in half-step increments. So you could take the Trans-Trem down to an E flat, which was perfect. That's Hendrix tuning, right? So we were like, well, now that it can move in half steps, that would be something he would probably be cool with, play it low and change the tension of the strings and mess around, kind of like Van Halen did with the Trans-Trem.
Right.
He wrote songs around it, so I'm sure Hendrix would have done something cool with that too, if he'd had that option and stay in tune, to do all that and stay in tune. A lot of Hendrix's, pyrotechnics on the guitar, it's out of tune a lot.
Oh yeah, some of his live footage, he's horribly out of tune. Right,
and it's, he would have wanted to change that, obviously, So the Steinberger Trem was a good fit. So we used the ash body, and we were going pretty good. I thought it was going to be a really cool playing guitar. We swapped the pickup backwards so we get the tone correct, and we were just kind of trudging along. We made a couple of prototypes, and there's some pictures around the internet, and we'll put a couple in. I'm sure Kevin's found a few. So
yeah, we'll pop some up that. Well, the funny thing is, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, that the whole project was scrapped.
Right,
and
in the middle of production.
Right. We'll get into that a little later, but it's amazing, Frank, how much information has been found by other people about the Hendrix Strat, about a project that was really pretty short-lived and was scrapped. There's some pictures out there. I'll show them to you of bodies and necks in production and coming through final assembly too. But I'll jump backwards again. This was a co-branded launch between Gibson USA and Epiphone. I don't know if was Custom going to launch the same time we did as Epiphone.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they were either.
Epiphone, jumped the gun on everybody. They launched it, and that kind of facilitated some of the backlash because, it was hastily done in the public's eyes because they just put a couple of stickers on a Strat and threw the headstock on backwards and, put left-handed necks on Strats and said, okay.
The sticker said authentic Hendrix, right?
Right.
Because I think the business or the foundation, whatever it was we were working with Hendrix, it was called Authentic Hendrix.
Right. The estate, that was the name of the estate company.
Correct.
So we had that on our guitar too. There's a couple of pictures of the decals we had made up, which was their logo, but they had to put on. There was a couple of things they wanted to put on the guitar. There was some artwork that some watercolor painting. That was the really cool part of the project is they kind of let us in on some stuff. And I got pictures of some really cool hand-drawn. Hendrix did a self-portrait, and it was amazing in pencil. It was, holy cow. I've not seen a picture that good.
Wow.
Of his self-portrait that he drew. He was quite an artist. And we had, the handwritten lyrics from Purple Haze. So we kind of put that on the back plate, and they wanted his watercolor painting on there. So we put that on the back plate. We were doing some different stuff with the guitar, and it would have been a cool project had it made it to the market. The Trans-Trem was a really cool, the estate, we had to get a lot of stuff cleared through those guys, through Bruce, and he would get with the management, I guess Janie, Hendrix, or whoever, he reported to. So it was kind of like, a development process, but Epiphone got theirs launched a lot quicker because naturally they were, set up for doing what they were doing. We had to invent tooling for that and You know, the trans trem wasn't really tooled up so much, and we had to make tooling for that. And it's you know, putting a guitar into production is not just, you know, pushing a button.
Right.
There's a lot of steps, and you know, you think about all the different steps that goes through in production, and it has to have something to hold it, and something to cradle it, and something to, you know, the tools necessary to perform the function. So it took a little while to get it up and running, but it really never made it. You know, as we all know,
Hey,
it's a shame. I thought it was a really good project at the time, you know.
right.
But just calling it Hendrix thing kind of doomed it, you know.
We
Instead
went
of just
from, you know, our initial reactions were, why are we doing this? Really? Going to make us do this? Because we had no choice. We had to do it
right.
well. And
This is happening. What are you doing? You
What
know?
was the initial run? I remember, did we do 400 units?
Probably.
And
I
then,
don't think we got there. We started,
you know, they weren't going to be cheap.
No, there was a lot going to be included with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that jacket that I had made, that was all supposed to be included with it. You know, the headband that he wore, all kind of stuff like that was going to happen. You know,
I'm gonna show you a picture of it in final real quick. Hang on a second.
Oh, there's Britt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, the tuners were black. They were not those Steinberger gearless.
Right. I didn't think so. And it had a Steinberger nut on it, which was like a zero friction nut. But it was cool. The trans trem worked great. It went up and down half steps.
It was sunken in, right? Yeah.
Yep.
No knobs on it yet.
It had fine tuners down on the bottom, just like kind of like a Floyd Rose would, you know.
Yep.
And is that a Nutric jack?
Oh, you know what, Frank? That might be.
Oh my God. Were we in Nutric phase at that time?
We were, because remember on the 2008 Les Paul, we were using Nutric jacks. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's what we had to have that.
And then we had all these Vox Tone Labs in house.
Yeah. Get them tested. I think the guitar on its own would have been a nice playing guitar, a set neck Strat, you know, ash body, maple neck. I think they were Seymour Duncan pickups because we weren't really great at making single coils. So we got Seymour Duncan to make us some single coil pickups for it, I believe. Seymour was always willing to help. And dude, they were so cool. Because Henry didn't like branding. So, you know, Seymour would make us pickups without putting their logo on, which is kind of, you know.
Yep, cool. He did it for us.
Yep, they would do that for us. So they really tried to help us and work with us. Yeah, there's the route for the Trans Trem 3 with the locking. She's a nice ash body.
Yeah.
Nice scarf. Nick and neck scarf we had.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to play.
That was very Valley. That was a Valley Arts scarf, right?
Right. We took a lot of the hints from the Valley Arts guitars they were doing. Yeah, there's the decal.
The decal.
And I used the Gibson scroll on the headstock.
Yep.
Or variation of it.
I think we started off with a Firebird, and we're like, hey, let's put the mustache or the open book shape onto it. Yeah.
Yep. The University of Michigan. I always wondered about that. You ever seen the University of Michigan helmet? It has the yellow mark.
Yeah, on the front.
Exactly like the Gibson scroll. Exactly.
That's true. Well, he was in Kalamazoo.
Who stole it from who? Did Orville steal it from the university, or did the university get it from us? I don't know.
I don't know. But isn't that funny? This photo got leaked of a guitar that never came out, right?
And the reason the whole project got scrapped was once Epiphone launched and those guitars got leaked, the internet just chewed it up. Yep. I mean, they were livid. No, because you know the leaks can kill you because the story comes out without you getting a chance to explain what's going on.
Right.
You know, it's like somebody sees that, oh, they're trying to make a Stratocaster. Well, yes and no. You know, we were doing a Valley Arts guitar that was going to be kind of cool, not even a bolt-on neck or a cool trans tremolo. And the
Yeah, it was
public,
truly something that hadn't really been done before.
right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know of anybody making a guitar like that, even to
No.
this day, really,
No.
you know?
Hey,
Everybody
here's another picture. I'm sorry, Frank. Here's another picture. Let me share this. So somebody
Oh,
took a
boy.
picture of the body stacked up,
Oh, wow.
but look at what else is around it. Remember the SG Diablos?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Explorer Pros, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. There's all kind that body line. That's cool shot there.
Yeah. And there's all the Strat bodies.
Is that Midtowns underneath the Explorers?
Here?
Yeah.
No, you know what? They have SG bevels.
Oh, they're SGs. Yeah, okay. Now I
Yeah,
can
those
see
are
it.
but a ton of Explorer Pros. Maybe
So, yeah.
some.
Wow, there are some pictures of it. It wasn't in production long, I'll tell you that. It didn't really get. How many do you think actually got produced? I remember the first I brought it to Mike McGuire and presented it to him to get his buy off and let him play it and check it out, because I really wanted Mike's opinion on the guitar without the project, you know.
Right.
And he loved it. He liked it. He said it was really cool. So, you know,
we know there's
for him from Valley Arts, you know, so it was going to be
the ones we just saw in final, and the one that Joe's holding is, we know we did at least one.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Some got, you know, Britt's playing it, so it's set up and playing. So
yeah,
there's some. I know Mike got the first one. I don't know what happened to any of the other ones. They were destroyed. You know, all of a sudden one day, you know, we got the meeting notice that Hendrix project is done.
We got an email that morning. Yep, it's over. Stop everything that's going on with the Hendrix Strat right now. It's done. It's over. And then, you know what I think happened to all the parts and bodies?
No.
The flood hit.
That was 10, right? 2010, I think the flood wiped everything out. Yeah.
I mean, there
Probably.
was. Yeah.
More than likely, they just laid there and it got inventoried for a year and was done in the flood.
Yeah, it was like, okay, get rid of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the flood, man, that was some day.
Yep. That was some months of recovery, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's for another episode.
We can do a flood episode for sure.
Oh yeah, there's some interesting pictures that have been floating out there ever since the flood happened. And people
floating.
Yeah. But
Did you do
people. No, I didn't actually. I'm a natural. But people misquote or come up with explanations of pictures out there they're just not true. You know, they got the wrong idea, and kind of like with the Hendrix Strat, they try to fill in the blanks, right? They're trying to complete the story, and they're a little off. Like, look,
well, it's hard to make sense out of a senseless kind of operation, you know.
God, yeah.
I mean, you know, we were baffled by it just having to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, like good little soldiers, that's what we did.
We figured it out. Yep.
Challenged me to do something. We found a way to make it happen and did something pretty cool in the long run. You know, too bad nobody will ever see one. I wonder if Mike, because the custom shop didn't get flooded, I wonder whatever happened to the one we gave Mike.
It's at Mike's house.
It might be. He might have it.
I mean, you're in touch. You're in touch with him, right? I'm friends with him on Facebook. I should hit him up.
With his son, Mickey. I talk to Mick a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't talk to Mike too much. I'm sure he's retired at this point.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook a bunch.
Good. Well, yeah, we should hit him up. You have an episode, a Valley Arts episode, maybe.
You know, we should. We should have him on. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, that's
up the Hendrix Strat. That's kind of, you know, the whole story. I really enjoyed the project while we were doing it. Once we got, you know, had to go and had to do it, I enjoyed it. You know, seeing some of the handwritten stuff from Jimi Hendrix was just amazing, you know.
I remember you showing me that as you would get it in. It was pretty cool.
Like we had the handwritten words to Purple Haze, you know, and it's like, wow. And we actually put that on the back plate. We had it etched into the back plate in his handwriting. And it was really cool, you know.
But on the other side, Frank, we were kind of relieved at the same time too, because after production, then our sales team would have to go out and sell all these for God knows what we were going to charge for them.
Right.
And that was going to be tough. They didn't understand it either. You know, they were kind of like,
was kind of fading at that point, right? Was that
What
Valley
was?
Arts moved to Baldwin in Arkansas at that point, right? So
or were they still over in the Valley Arts building off Church where the restoration shop was?
I don't know. Maybe for a little while, but then I know they were out in Arkansas.
That's true.
It was kind of winding down, you know. The only thing they were doing was the Brent Mason was really selling, you know. The Brent Mason signatures, they had a lot of orders for those.
That was kind of it at the end, right?
Yeah, that's all they wound up pretty much doing when they were in Arkansas, because I used to go down there a lot and work with those guys and ladies. But like you said, we were kind of relieved that it wasn't going to have to happen. But I think once people would have found out it was a Valley Arts guitar, they might have looked at it a little differently. You know what I mean? Because I mean, they sold a lot of Strats and Tellys with Valley Arts, and
that's their DNA.
They were great, man. They had beautiful, you know, finishes, and they did a lot of cool stuff. So I think once people really would have said, "Oh, that's a Valley Arts guitar made at the USA plant, made here in Tennessee," you know, who knows what could have happened? But
some people would have picked them up and gave them a shot, right?
I think they would have played them once they tried that Trans-Trem and the tone of it, and it played and sounded like a Strat. I mean, look, Paul Reed Smith selling Strats.
I know it.
You know it, and so where's that backlash? You know, I'm sure there was some, but
I think it's gone now. People are used to it now. You know,
they got John Mayer to it, a live artist who could play it and promote it. You know, we had to deal with the past, you know, trying to think of what would Hendrix play.
Yeah, authentic Hendrix, right? That Paul Reed Smith didn't do that, but
authentic was a terrible term.
Oh,
because you know it should have been Imagine Hendrix or something like that,
right?
Something like that, you know, where it was pointing towards the future, and
it was a hard sell.
Never got a fair shot, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, boy, the internet lit up for a few days.
They did not like it. Because you know how people hold back on the internet. You know how they do that.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, they're very honest.
They want to be heard, and boy, were they.
He anonymously said, I'm real honest.
They killed the project, and you know what? I'm not all that sorry about it.
Yeah, it happened.
Anyway,
you know.
But again, it just goes back to on any given day when we were working there, and still probably to this day, you never knew what would fall out of the sky right onto your desk, and hey, here's a new project.
Yeah.
And you had to make it work.
Yeah, and that was the fun of it. We accepted all those challenges.
Mm-hmm.
No, we were good at it. We had a great team. I had a great team of engineers in the pattern shop, and you know, Corey and George, they could do anything. I could just explain what I wanted it to do, and they would talk me out of it or talk me into it. No, you don't want to do it that way. but you know, we had a meeting of the minds, and we worked it out, you know. So
yep.
Sometimes that doesn't get whole story doesn't get told. You know?
Nope.
So it's unfortunate.
Well, that's why we're here.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's behind the headstock.
That's why we're here. Hey, with that, let's go ahead and end the episode. So,
all right, thanks everybody.
Right. So, listen, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button down there and the notification bell. And Frank and I have an email. It's behindtheheadstock@gmail.com. Go ahead and send us your thoughts, your comments. If you have any episode ideas, any questions about certain guitar models you want to know about, even current ones. I mean, we can give our thoughts on current models that are coming out. I mean, we're part of the legacy. We know how this stuff gets made. So, yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining.
You don't have to like, but subscribe.
That's right.
Go Behind the Headstock with Kevin and Frank, two ex-Gibson employees talking about guitars and the guitar industry with an inside perspective.